morning, Inspire and Illuminators. It's me, Jennifer Engel, CEO and founder of Inspire and Illuminate, which is me just writing highest possibility states. It's been a long time since I've done a video or talked about highest possibility states, but that's because I've been really busy with the job that actually pays my bills for now. And I've also been working on highest possibility states behind the scene. So I actually have a little objective this week, and I wasn't actually planning this. I was doing my usual routine this morning, woke up, made my coffee. A lot of times I'll do listen to a spiritual video or podcast or something like that on YouTube while I'm doing my walk or my jog in the morning. And it kind of inspired this in me. At first it was like, where does love come from? But then when I started to actually sit down and write out my lesson and my mini workshop for this week, it kind of transformed from not necessarily love, but to our own personal power and flow. So I have an objective this week that I didn't have when I woke up this morning. That is to give you a quick taste as to what highest possibility states like a workshop. This is like a mini version of a big one that hopefully we'll be able to provide this summer live in person, but for sure at least online. And so we can use this to see if my teachings provide any value to you or not, so that when the workshops and the book actually comes out, you can make that determination yourself. But this week, I want to give you something to think about as you're doing your spring cleaning. You know, we kind of get in this habit where we spring clean our homes, we spring clean our cars. But again, one of the things that I'm really starting to get people to push to think about is really looking into your subconscious. And so this is going to be a mini lesson on spring cleaning your subconscious. And the topic this week is going to be getting back into your personal power and flow. So we're going to open up our subconscious just a little bit. We're going to see what tools or habits or things we have in there that can help us get back into our personal power and flow. So I have 3 objectives. Number 1, to give you a quick update on how highest possibility states are going. Number 2, to kind of talk about the purpose. Why do I do this? Why do you talk to us about opening up our subconscious shed? And then also to begin brainstorming today, but then over the course of the week, teach you where personal power and flow comes from and how you can get it going again if it has stopped for a while. So you might want to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, just so that you can get updates as to when these videos are going to come out. Also, you might want to have like a little notebook or a journal nearby, or maybe some post-it notes, or maybe just an app on your phone that will help you as you take down these notes. Because guess what? I am a teacher in real life. Granted, I do teach junior high students, but teachers sometimes give homework. I know there's a great debate about homework, but the whole point is to give you some alone time, some personal reflection time, and then to come back and have a discussion or a dialogue as to what you found. All right. I'm hoping that each lesson, this is almost kind of like when we talk about that learning lunch, that as you're eating lunch, you could watch these videos and then apply the lesson throughout your day. So I hope that they'll only be 7 to 10 minutes long, with the exception of today as I'm introducing the topic. Let's get started. All right, so a real quick update on how highest possibility states is doing. The books are done. The paperback, and we're almost really close to having the Kindle version done. And then we might be looking into me narrating the audio version, but that might be a little bit later. We're finalizing all the formats. We're checking them like the 100th time. We want to ensure that our products are as professional and thorough as possible. We're also beginning to create the online as well as the in-person materials and lessons for the workshop. And again, we want to make sure that you have the whole package and not just these bits and pieces that you have to put together. So again, the purpose of highest possibility states is to open up the subconscious, to make it a little less mystical and mysterious, and then also to give you just little bits and pieces that are easy to digest so that you can get back into your own personal power and flow. I found, and why do I do this? Well, I do this because I've been in my lower possibility states physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And, sometimes we have fixes for physical problems, sometimes we don't. But like for a wide variety of problems, we generally have, like if we get a headache or something, we can take some medicine and the pain can kind of go away. But what about the mental pain? What about the emotional pain? There's not always an easy pill that we can take to make that go away. And a lot of times people might end up self-medicating just to numb that pain. And self-medication doesn't do much in the long term. So one of the things that I found is when you have an issue, when you have a problem, and if you've been listening to me, and if you haven't, either this will be a new idea or it'll be just a good refresher. You need to address it on all levels, on the physical level, on the mental level, on the emotional level, and what some people call this the spiritual level, and what I'm calling the subconscious vibrational level. I mean, think about it. Like if you had a little pie, okay, and you only addressed one area, you're only healing 1/4 of the whole. If you're addressing 2 areas, let's say the physical and the mental, you're healing half of the whole, which is awesome. But what you really want to do is you want to heal the whole thing. You want to address it physically, with doctors or exercise or nutritionists. You want to heal it mentally, possibly with the help of psychologists and psychiatrists. You want to help it emotionally, possibly through the help of counselors or community connections or, friends and family. And then where I'm here to help you, subconsciously, so that when you heal it on the whole, you're healing the whole thing much quicker, much faster, and actually give it a long-term cure. That's the whole purpose for highest possibility states and opening up your subconscious. So this week, I'm going to give you a little mini lesson, a little taste of what that's like. I'm going to make it a little bit less dreadful, a little bit less scary or mystery or mystic. They make it sound so mystical, like only gurus can access this thing, and that's not true. What I do is I take concepts that seem difficult, I bring them into the physical world, and I make them easy to digest, and hopefully in the end give you some real value in your life. All right, here we go. Again, I'm a teacher, and there is going to be a purpose for the homework assignments that I give you. This is an interaction, and I would really like it to be a dialogue at some point in time. So here's what you're going to do. First of all, you're opening up your subconscious, and you're going to have to get real and raw with yourself. Don't hide from yourself, because you know yourself and you know you can't, okay? So that is one thing that I will say. Promise yourself and me that you're going to be raw and real with this activity this week. It's not really that hard. There might be some things that may or may not be hard, but most of it will not be hard. Most of it's going to be easy. If you enter it with the mindset of a child getting ready to play with clay or Legos or fill in the blank with whatever else you like to play with as a child, that is the right mindset to have this week. That this is going to be a fun, playful activity. It doesn't have to be dreadful. All right? Okay. So where does power and flow come from? This is the brainstorming session. The first thing that I want you to do, and in a minute, I'm going to walk you through my own home and just kind of show you, give you an example. You want to walk around your physical spaces, and you want to jot down on your Post-it note, in your little notebook, or in your phone app, what you see. Another way you can do this, and I actually do this every day, is you can take pictures. Now, that's the second piece of homework. Maybe you don't necessarily need to walk around and jot down everything that's in your physical environment. You probably have a lot of that documented right here in your phone, okay? And I'd hold mine up, but I'm using mine to record. So that's the second piece. The first piece is walk around your environment for the next 24 hours or so and make a list. Jot down some physical things that you see in your environment. Then, maybe at the end of the day or something like that, or early tomorrow morning, you're going to look at your phone. You're going to skim and scan your list, or you could flip-flop it. You could look at your phone first, jot down, or at least mentally think about, take screenshots, whatever you want to do, of what is in your phone, because that's probably the first clue as to where your power and where your flow comes from, because that's where your attention is. That's where power and flow starts from, what you are focused on. So for the next 24 hours or so, you're gonna walk around your environment, you're gonna make some mental notes as to what is around me, because that's what's important to you. I might even suggest this as to where you spend most of your time. So you might not just want to do it at home. If you are at work, make some mental notes. What images, what things do you have around you at work? If you spend time in the community in a certain place, whether it's a gym or a friend's house or a relative's home or at, a religious area or a community volunteer area or wherever it is. For the next 24 hours, jot down things that you see that are surrounding you that catch your attention. Okay? And I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I won't do myself. So in a minute, I'm going to walk around my home. I might show some pictures or images of things that are important to me. And then what I want you to do is I want you to join me tomorrow as I discuss why I had you complete this homework assignment, how to start sorting out your list, and what this has to do with discovering your own personal power and flow. Also, it's not going to be exactly word for word. These are the notes that I'm using. As sometimes you might see me look down and then look up at you. These are the notes that I wrote in the morning to help myself prepare for this conversation with you. And so if you would like the notes from this conversation, you can go to highestpossibilitystates.com. The link will be in the description below. You can click on that and you can download the notes if that helps you as well. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to walk around and I'm going to see some things that are in my home that I noticed that are important to me. And then that's just going to be kind of an example. All right, so that was my home now. But as I was going around and I was thinking about my list that I wrote down, it looks pretty nice. Spirituality, self-reflection, nature, family, connection, helping others, good food, good health, learning, work, what I get paid to do versus what I would really love to do, writing, teaching, personal care, things that make me feel good, smell good, and look good. That all seems pretty nice, and maybe some people are in that exact place now. But then I also started thinking, the whole point of highest possibility states is, what if you're not there? What if you're in a lower possibility states? And so I actually made a second list. I went back into Facebook and I looked at photos from 12 years ago, 2009. How would my list look then? What would be different? I wasn't necessarily in my highest possibility state then, if you really want me to be raw and real. So I went back and I wrote what my list would look like then. Lose weight, get fit, be noticed, feel attractive, have a good time. I did actually party quite a bit, and just feel good, because I didn't. So I'm going to use both of these lists as I teach going forward. What happens if your list looks a little bit different, and maybe there's some things on your list that you're going to keep hidden? Because the other thing I was thinking about is look at your private photos. Look at your favorite photos. We are going to be on a spectrum. There are some people who are going to be in a higher state. You could hand your phone over to anybody and not be embarrassed. And there's other people who probably wouldn't be able to do that. And that's okay. You know, I'll be honest. I've been in all of those states myself as well. So I want you to know this isn't just like, oh, for people who feel good and who are in their highest possibility state. It is also for people who might not be experiencing their highest possibility state. All right, I hope that this has helped someone today so that you can use your own personal power and flow to first help yourself and then those around you. Because now, more than ever, the world needs your power and it needs you. Peace and blessings.